Hello everyone, welcome to Oliveboard. My name is Dinkar and I welcome you all in this session. I hope everybody is doing great, feeling healthy and fine. Once again, welcome to our special session on concept building series for RBI Grade B. And in this concept building series, we are focusing on our ESI concept, finance concept, management concept. So every Saturday at 9 p.m. we are coming out with series especially for all of you so that you became well versed with all the important related basic concepts for RBI Grade B examination. So this will be preparing you for the phase 2 examination altogether. So if you are giving a due importance to this series, so automatically you will be preparing for the RBI Grade B examination with full conceptual clarity. The only thing that is needed from your side is that regular participation for this series and be active participant in this series. So do join in huge numbers so that everybody can benefit it out of that, because here we are telling everything from the very minute level, because those people who think that they don't know from where to start, how to start, so this series is for all those people, because it is a totally basic concept building series and we will be starting from the starting itself, and there is no high end concepts are there. It is just the basic foundation on which everything will be else built. Okay, so once again, welcome to the session and let's start with the session. May I know how many people are there in the session? If the people can say like you are here, so that I may know you are there in the session, so they can address you by your names. Is there anybody who's there in the session? Okay, we have Sandeep Jose is here. Hello, Sandeep. Welcome to the session, and thank you for introducing yourself, because I really love everybody to give their names in the starting of the session so that I may address you by your names whenever I'm discussing anything. Okay, so once again, welcome to the session. Okay, so let's start with our session right away. So this is RBI Grade B concept building series for ESI finance and management. So these are all the live batches and we are pledging for your success. This course is offering you the live video batches which you are already in, comprehensive coverage of the syllabus, because all the topics will be on syllabus only. There is nothing like that. You can match the syllabus of the RBI and you can match this series syllabus. Everything is totally to the point. Okay, doubt clearing by the experts, since I am here, so I am always there for clearing of your doubts. Preparation guidance every time I keeps on providing you, and since you are in Oliveboard, that means we are doing our exam center study all together. Okay, so today we are going to do finance lecture number 4. Okay, so how we are going is that one session ESI, management, finance and management. Okay, again we go for ESI, finance and management. Okay, so this is going to be the 4th lecture on the finance. Okay, so there are a lot of lectures, so this is 11 lectures are there. 11 lectures have already been there. I think 3 or 4 of ESI, 3 or 4 of finance and management. I think we have 3 lectures are there. Okay, so if please after this session go through all the session if you think that you are new to this series, and join this. Okay, so today we'll be talking about public private partnership. This is one of the most important topic that is there in our RBI Grade B examination syllabus, public private partnership, right? So what is public private partnership? So as the name itself suggests, that here we are collaborating public and private. Public, whenever we say, it is related to the government things. Okay, and private is private entities are there. Okay, so it is government agencies along with private sector company, they come together, they collaborate together and they work together for finance of any topic. So finance, to build something, to operate something. Okay, anything can be there. Okay, public private partnership can work in any of the fields. Okay, it provides you with finances, it help you in building, if it helps in operating. Okay, so there are example like transportation network, parks, convention center, various other things, etc, etc. A lot of things are there where we utilize public private partnership, whether in green field projects or brown field projects. Greenfield are the projects which are done from scratch, from the starting. Okay, brownfield are that the something is already there, we are just renovating or changing something over that. Okay, now public private partnership, what what is the thing that are involved in this public private partnership? Whenever we say like there is a kind of concession of the taxes, that means if public private partnership are working, so private entity may get concession on the taxes. Government कहेगी okay ठीक है आपको थोड़ा कम टैक्स देना पड़ेगा, okay, you will get some kind of revenue, you will be protected from the liability things, you get some kind of partial ownership also, right? So these are some of the important things that are there in the public partnership, like some of the features are service oriented, whole life costing is there, innovative thing you can do, participants are from both the sides are there, okay. Then risk allocation, private party otherwise have to do a good amount of risk, but here the risk get allocated from different places. Then long term relationship also get developed, and resource sharing. So here these are all important feature also, or you can say these are also some of the benefits of public private partnership, okay. So now hello Parth, welcome to the session. Now there are two type of cooperation that comes under public private partnership. Two type of cooperations are, one is institutional public private partnership and second one is contractual public private partnership, okay. So whenever we are talking about institutional public private partnership, so these are jointly done or carried out by public and private sector entity, okay, jointly carried out. And whenever we are talking about contractual, so contract, the word itself is coming as a contract, okay. Here certain activities, only certain activities are done under contract, okay. Public procurement, you can have sometimes joint activity, so they have a set meaning based on some kind of technical details, okay. You don't have to go too much deeper into that. It is just you have to remember public private partnerships comes under two categories, two type of cooperation, institutional or contractual, okay. Now whenever we talk of the public private partnership, we have a long term contractual relationship that happens between the public entity and the private entity, okay. Whenever we are talking about any public private partnership, the project is of longer time, okay. Normally the contract period is for 3 years to 25 years, so that is the range, okay. So if you are working in any kind of public private partnership working, so you have to engage with the government for 3 to 25 of years, okay. So under all these partnerships, there will be a single private body that will be responsible to engage, okay. And there will be lot of complex activities that will be coming, complex activity like your designing, construction, if there is any kind of renovation is there, if you have any kind of repair is there, maintenance or anything, okay. So public private partnership mainly utilize the skills and knowledge of the private entity, okay. There are a lot of private entity, those who are working in some specific sector, okay. So government engage these people in order to do the work for the government with their expertise, okay. So that is why this concept of public private partnership is there, okay. Now various features are there. So whenever some risk is there in the project, it will be shared among the partners, right? Obviously government will be also sharing the risk, private entity will be also sharing the risk, okay. So whenever the payment has to be done, payment will be only be given to the private partner when the project start commencing, okay. That means when the delivery of the service started, जब जैसे क्या है कि if you have a toll, okay, once the road construction is over and toll is operating, then only government will also start putting the money over there, okay. Then only governments also start putting the money over there, okay. The payment to the private party only when the project or asset required will be starting for the delivery of services, okay. Ownership normally sometimes transferred to the public entity, sometimes transferred to the private entity, okay. So ownership is also one of the important thing. In the starting, maybe ownership was the private entity. Later on, once the private entity contract period is over, it will be transferred to the public sector, all to the government sector, okay. So there are 4 types of PPP model, 4 types. पहला है management control model, okay. Here the management control is only given. Second is lease contract model. You make it, you lease it. Third is concessionary model. And fourth one is you build it, you operate it, and then you transfer it. Under BOT model, lot of other models are also there. Okay, right? Now, so under the management contract model, here the thing is directly. Here the contract is only given to manage either the part of that or either the whole of that. Okay, only you have to manage, right? So only the management of the public entity, like if something is there, like some water supply has to be given. Okay, private party will be given that you just manage proper water supply, light, some is the buses service, train services, ferry, gas, recycle, phone, wind power, anything. Okay, here only the management control is given. Management. Rest government will do everything. Okay, you manage it in a proper way, in a professional way. Okay, in a professional way, you just simply manage it, right? Now, the second type of management contract is that in which sometimes private entity has to do some kind of capital investment. थोड़ा पैसा प्राइवेट एंटिटी को लगाना पड़ता है, ठीक है. नॉर्मली दीज प्रोजेक्ट्स आर ऑफ मीडियम टर्म और लॉन्ग टर्म. ओके, एंड व्हेनेवर वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट सेकंड टाइप ऑफ मैनेजमेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट वेयर little amount of money you have to spend. So normally these type of project are usually used right for the brownfield project. Brownfield project means when you have to do some kind of renovation or new addition you have to do. So there is the best example is that there is a water supply project that is going in Latur. Latur is a very dry area. Very dry area. There is always a problem of water supply over there. So that is why this is a very important project. So here management contract type model is there where certain kind of capital investment you have to do and then you can run over the project. Then comes the lease contract model. अब लीज में आप बनाओ, लीज पे दे दो, राइट? देन लीज अंडर दिस मॉडल द एसेट इज लीज्ड. जैसे आपकी कोई बिल्डिंग है, आपने कह दिया ओके 100 years of lease or 99 years of lease. Okay, so lease either you can give it to the private entity or you can give it to the public entity, whatever the situation is coming. So lease contract, you build it, you lease it, after that you transfer it. Sometimes you build it, you own it, you lease it and transfer it, or build, transfer, lease. So these are the various type of lease models are there. Okay, just you have to remember that. Then concession model. What is this concession model? Here the public entity retain the ownership. मतलब यहाँ पे पूरा का पूरा ओनरशिप गवर्नमेंट का ही रहेगा, चाहे पब्लिक एंटिटी का. ओके, only the private entity will be asked to do the construction or some kind of operation like management, maintenance, construction, but the ownership will always remain with the public. Ownership will always remain with the public entity. Okay, that is the main thing under the concession model. In the concession model, you will get area concession, you may get some kind of operation concession, management, maintenance, construction, you can do everything, but here the ownership will remain with the public entity. Okay, so now comes the build, operate, transfer model, BOT model. Two major types are there. Okay, first type is BOT contract. First is BOT contract, build, operate and transfer. Okay, so public entity remain the ownership, you build it, ask the private party to own that, then once you are able to take out your money, then you transfer it. The second type of there is the build, own, operate and transfer. Okay, so the private entity have a overall responsibility of ownership of the as well as the construction. Okay, whatever, so there will be a contract duration. Okay, contract duration is there. Here they are asking you have to build, आपको build करना है, आपको पूरे टाइम ओन भी करना है. कुछ भी होगा, कैसा भी होगा, गवर्नमेंट कुछ नहीं करेगी. You have to own it. Any changes, anything, you have to do it. Operate or be after that transfer it when your contract period is over. Okay, when your contract period is over. Okay, so BOT model is design, build, operate, design, build, finance, operate, transfer, BOT annuity and BOT contract. So here these are all the type of model: bold, DBFO, LDO, design, build, finance. So these are all the special type of model where ownership changes, money supply from where that, maintenance, finance from where it is coming. So here the name is that build, operate, transfer, build, own, operate, build, own, operate, transfer, build, lease, operate, transfer, design and build, design, build, finance, design, build, finance, operate. All these things are there, which is under the PPP models are there. Okay. Now, one of the special type of model is also there, that is engineering, procurement and construction, EPC model. Okay. What is this EPC model is all about? 1 minute. So this EPC model, the total cost of this model will be borne by the government. पूरा कॉस्ट प्रोजेक्ट का गवर्नमेंट का रहेगा, गवर्नमेंट ही देगा. यहां पे प्राइवेट पार्टिसिपेशन इज वेरी मिनिमम, very very minimum. Only the private party will give engineering advices. Okay, private party will only be giving engineering advices. That is why EPCM means engineering, procurement, construction and management. Okay, here the private party, the main task of the private party is that only you have to give engineering expertise, nothing more than that. Okay, they will be acting like an engineering consultant from the starting till the ending. So whatever that thing related to engineering is coming under that project, from starting from planning, complex engineering requirements, coordinating with the contractors, vendors and everybody. So this private party will be taking care of. Rest, funding, owning, financing, everything will be under the government. Okay, public entity, right? Then comes hybrid annuity model, a very very new important concept. So hybrid annuity model is a mix. Hybrid annuity model is a mix of EPC and bought annuity model. Here there is a project cost that has been shared between the public and the private. Okay, with the government and the private company sharing the total cost 40:60. Okay, 60% project cost private player. Okay, 60% project cost private, 40% project cost public. Okay, so normally this project is being utilized for building roads and various greenfield projects, and government has been given the task for revenue collection. Okay, whenever you have a toll, you have the government has been given the task of toll collection. Then every year government pays a fixed amount. Fixed amount, whenever we are talking about pays a fixed amount, that is called annuity. Annuity means providing somebody with a fixed amount. Okay, so private party ने 40% 60% पैसा लगाया, 40% पब्लिक गवर्नमेंट ने लगाया, और जब प्रोजेक्ट बन गया और रेवेन्यू कलेक्शन होने लगा तो गवर्नमेंट प्राइवेट पार्टी को हर साल एक फिक्स अमाउंट देने लगा, maybe for 10 years, maybe for 20 years, based on the contract. Okay, so government normally select the private player based on the competitive bidding process over here. Okay, so these are the various type of comparison under the PPP model. Management contract में क्या होता है? Asset का ownership is with public. Okay, operation maintenance is with private, and capital investment has to public, commercial risk is public. Okay, lease contract, asset ownership is with public, operation management private, capital investment public, and commercial risk shared. Concession model, again asset ownership is with public, right? Then operation and maintenance is with the private player, capital investment has to be done by the private, and commercial risk is also with the private player. Okay, so this is concession model. Then boot, build, own, operate, transfer, or build, own, operate is asset ownership will remain with public or private. Rest, operation maintenance public, capital investment private, operation maintenance private, capital investment private, commercial risk is also private. Okay, so these are how these are all the models, and based on the various type of asset ownership, operation maintenance, capital investment. What are the advantages of this PPP model? Better infrastructure promises are there, so it also checks that. Okay, proper operational and project execution, because private players are good at various type of engineering and cost effective optimization, right? It also remove the government properly utilization of the government fund, and also reduce the burden of the government to think on the project. Okay, it also reduce the government budgets because it reduces based on the concession, right? High quality standards project will be made, and it also reduce cost potentially like that. Okay, so there is a lot of risk that is involved to the private participant. Okay, and in this field there are very limited number of private entities are there. Okay, so sometimes public private partnership has some kind of advantages along with some kind of disadvantages. So these are some of the disadvantages that we are talking. Sorry, I have written little different headings over there. Okay, so there is a risk that has been involved in this sector. Just 1 minute, guys. Just 1 minute. There's some technical problem has happened. Okay, little bit. Okay, yeah. So there is a risk involved to the private party. Only very limited private players are there under this. So there is a like proper competition is not happens. Since less competition is there in this field, so proper competition doesn't happen among the private parties. Okay, profit varies. Sometimes you have a good amount of profit, sometimes you have a very less profit. Okay, sometimes there is a risk and complexity too much involved, and here we have to heavily dependent on the private party. Okay, so sometimes private party may give some kind of unrealistic money charges that private party can put. Now what government is doing to promote the public private partnership? So government has started the viability gap funding scheme. Viability gap funding scheme has been started by Ministry of Finance, that if there is any project which is very economically justified कि मतलब इससे बहुत benefit होगा, लेकिन but there is a very less funding for that project, so that project funding will be provided. Whatever the shortfall is there in that funding, government is going to provide. That is called viability gap funding. अब जैसे there is a project which required some 10,000 crore rupees, and government thinks that this is a very important project for the future, and only 7,000 crore rupees is being collected by the private party. So extra 3,000 crore as a viability gap funding government will be providing in order to make this project, because government think that this project will be a very good project in the near future. Then there is a India Infrastructure Project Development Fund is also there. Okay, so the main task is that it provides the financial support for the quality projects. Okay, so this IIPDF was set up in 2007, and now that has been extended to 2024 and 25. So sponsoring authority is there. They sponsor the project, important developmental project they sponsor, and you can get the fund from here. Then there is a very important committee that is called PPP Appraisal Committee. Okay, so Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs is there. They have made a committee in which there is a procedure that has been set up for approval of various kind of PPP projects. Okay, if any project has to be done in the PPP, it has to take the permission of the PPP Appraisal Committee. Okay, so they will scrutinize the project, and they will also check how much government expenditure is going on. And if that is a central sector project which is cost is exceeding rupees 100 crore, okay, cost is exceeding 100 crore except for the port or NHDP projects, except for ports and NHDP project. So if any project cost is going rupees 100 crore, it has to be require an approval from the Public Private Partnership Appraisal Committee. Okay. Then IIFCL is also there, which is also providing the long-term depth to only infrastructure projects. All those projects which are having a long gestation means that require too much time for building, like a 5-year, 10-year, 20-year. Okay, so this is called long gestation period. You are putting only money, but you are not generating any money till now. Okay, you will be only generating once after the project gets commenced. Okay, so this is called long gestation projects. So they provide the project, they provide long-term debt for the infrastructure project. So this provide money to the projects which are very commercially viable, like they are project implemented by public sector, private sector, or any under PPP initiative. So this project will be given under the competitive bidding process, obviously. Okay, then These are only the projects which are to be eligible by IIFCL. Like if you are building any road, railway, highway, seaport, or urban transport, water supply, sewage, gas pipelines, infrastructure, special economic zones, then cold storage, warehouses, fertilizer. So these are all the projects that are being sanctioned. If you are bringing any kind of this project, you will get funding from IIFCL. Okay, but the total limited, like you are bringing some 100 crore of project, but you will only get 20% of the total project. That means you can get only 20 crore of funding, rest you have to take from your own. Okay, so you got it right. The IFFCL funding is limited to 20% of the project cost. Okay, now we have come to the important committee, Vijay Kelkar committee. You have to know regarding PPP. PPP has a very important committee that is called Vijay Kelkar committee. You have to remember this name because every time in the examination the name of this committee always come, like who is the person who has done a recommendation on the PPP projects. So you have to know the name Vijay Kelkar. Okay, so Vijay Kelkar committee has given various recommendations, like you have to focus, contract should be based on more service delivery. Okay, then proper identification and whether the proper risk is being shared or not. Make sure that viability gap funding is provided to a better projects. Okay, better projects, and there should be a tribunal that has to be created in order to educate any matter if there is any coming for PPP matters. Okay, and also to amend the public private prevention of corruption act if there is any kind of corruption that is happening in this field, except to find out like if there is really a genuine error or it is an act of corruption. Okay, if genuine error is there, then it is okay, but it is an act of corruption that you have to punish. Okay, then recommendations like discourage the government participation. Okay, allow banks to finance the zero coupon bonds also. We have to encourage PPP in railway sector, urban sector. Okay, we have to make sure the railway sector should be put under the PPP construction. Okay, and we have to set up an institution that is excellence in the PPP, so that we have a very good institution who is working for PPP projects, that can provide good amount of policy research, that can provide good amount of inputs, that can provide good amount of timely advices for the betterment of the infrastructure sector in our country and various other projects in our country, those who are working in PPP mode. Okay, so guys, this is all for today. If you have anything to ask, please ask me. This is all for today. If you have anything to ask me, you can ask me today. So guys, thank you so much for joining the session. It's a great evening with all of you, and I hope everybody of you have understood the question properly. And really great to have you all here in this classes. And I will be seeing you again at Monday morning at 9 a.m. with my PPP, with my Press Information Bureau session. So I will be seeing you on at 9 a.m. in the morning on 23rd of January. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sandeep. Thank you so much, Parth. I hope you all have understood properly. After the session gets over, if you are really liking the session, please provide me with beautiful comments in the comment box. So thank you so much. Bye bye and have a great weekend.